Hey, hello everyone, and good morning. It's an amazing, great day today, and I am on a little trip. And the other day it occurred to me that there's two key questions that doctors are not asking their patients, and that you as a patient are not giving this information to your doctors as well, because, well, you don't really know any better, for one. But as I see, hundreds and hundreds of people over the years that come to me with these severe issues. And, my dad is a mechanic. And, as a mechanic, you can look at things and you got to try to find what is the cause, what's the root cause of this vehicle or tractor. My dad's a tractor mechanic. Not working, right? I mean, you say, well, hey, it doesn't start. Well, yeah, duh. Why doesn't it start? So, over the years, people come in and they explain all their symptoms and they talk about what's going on, but the reality is they're not getting to the root cause, and that's because of the two key questions. So, by the way, I'm David DeHaas, and who am I, and why should you even be listening to me? So, my story is, I had a lot of illnesses and diseases, including the big C word, cancer, and I healed it without doctors, chemo, or radiation. And I was on a path for 20-some years plus to figure out, how do I get well? And it was a long process. Along my journey, I met a lot of great people, and I got bits of information. I've always been very open-minded. I read a lot of books. And I am a curious cat. I mean, when I see something, I want to know why and how, and whether it's politics or the money system or whatever it is, I am the curious cat. So years ago, I was given a book called Eat Right or Die Young. Now, this is when I was pretty bad. I was 31 years of age, and I walked like an old man. I mean, I had the body probably of an 80-plus-year-old. Loved to play basketball, my passion. And it hurt to play. It took me forever to warm up. It took me an hour to warm up, shuffling like an old man just to even get going. I had allergies and asthma. I mean, asthma as a kid is so bad that, I didn't think I'd live. And I had the measles, and I had the chicken pox and the mumps, and every year I'd get really sick, like deathly sick. Every August I would get really, really, really sick. Darndest thing. And anyway, so throughout the years, I remember one day I'm sitting in this doctor's office, and a homeopath, and I was spending hundreds of dollars with this guy per month to try and get better. And, what he was doing was great, but it wasn't the total answer. And one day he just gets really upset with me. He tells me, you got to get serious. You got to get serious about this. I'm looking, well, what's that mean? Tell me, what's that mean? And, anyway, he just tells me I have to be serious, and I don't know what the heck he's talking about, right? And I leave the office, and I'm going like, what the hell was that about, right? I'm spending all this money taking these homeopathies, and yeah, I saw a little bit of change, but it was, it was like, different symptom. I was like the dog chasing its tail, and I wasn't getting better. So anyway, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get well. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, by the way, if you want more information on how to really get well and to treat the root cause, you can go to our website at livingwaterscleanse.com, and there's a great webinar there, and watch that webinar. Watch it 2 or 3 times. There's a lot of great information in it. So, and our YouTube channel, go to YouTube and type in Mega Colon Cleanse. Mega, MEGA, colon, COLON, cleanse, CLEANSE.com. Anyway, so back to the two key questions. By the way, if you like this stuff, please do share it. There's a lot of golden nuggets I throw out here every day on these live webinars. But anyway, no one ever would tell me what to eat. Ever. And one day I'm waking up, well, and someone says, well, you need to eat right. I go like, okay, what does that mean? What does eat right mean? And today, get this, I just listened to something, and what little that people know about the gut until 2012 or 2014, the medical community assumed that a baby's gut was clear. There was no bacteria in it. I mean, that's just odd to me, just from a standpoint of where we know today. But anyway, you're outnumbered 10 to 1 in bacteria to your cells, which is amazing. But no one told me how to eat, what to eat. Eat a good diet. What's that mean? And people come in to me, I eat a good diet, I eat a good diet. I'm looking at them, they're severely constipated, they got inflammation, they got swelling, they've got all these issues, and they don't have a clue on what to eat out of, the pans that you eat out of. So doctors aren't asking you the 2 key questions, and here's the 2 key questions. 1, what are you eating? Is it right for your blood type? There's a book years ago, great book, Eat Right for Your Type, and people are coming out today, oh, you need to be on a ketogenic diet, a paleo diet, you need to be vegan, vegetarian, blah, 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 and you're totally confused, and because you don't know what to do. And I sympathize with you, because I have been there and I have ridden that horse, and it is very, very confusing. It's like you're on that horse and you're going around in circles, round and round and round and round, and you're getting nowhere towards what does eat right mean. And and for every body type, based upon where you're at and your blood type, it's going to vary a little bit, especially when you've got some imbalances in your gut. There's certain foods that you've got to not do right now, because it's you've got to build back that microbiome system. So it looks different for everyone, and that's one of the tools that we talk about on the 10-day cleanse, is what does eating right do. So another thing we got to do is you got to get the putrefaction out of the system that's causing this microbiome system of yours to be completely out of balance. And the only effective way you're going to do that is do colon hydrotherapy. So colon hydrotherapy is the simplest, most effective, highest return on investment of your health dollars that you're going to spend, quickly and easily, to get that rotting, putrefying mess out of you, and get the 99.9% of you are constipated. You may think you're not, but you are, because you've got this rotting gunk in the trunk. And until you get that out and start reestablishing with good bacteria and the good bugs, you're always going to have some kind of a symptom. So the second question is, with that regard, is how do you poop? How often do you poop? What's the poop look like? It's really critical. And I've been asking these questions since the day we opened. What's your poop look like? How often do you go? And I don't, these answers that say, oh, I poop regularly, is not a good answer. What does regularly mean? And what is the shape of it? Is it tiny little hard poops? Is it little thin narrow stuff? Is it a cow pie? This all makes a difference on what is going on in that gut. And that gut affects your brain. It's your second brain affects this brain. And this intricate woven system is an amazing, amazing, amazing system. Every nerve and organ, every nerve in your there's a bunch of nerves in your gut that connect to every organ and part in your body. So it affects that. So just one great example recently, physically, is that I had a groin pull, and groin pulls, if you had one, they take a while to heal. So I went in and did a colonic. I had to referee 9 basketball games that weekend. I have a groin pull, thinking like, I'm done, I can't do this. But I went and did a colonic, and the left groin is what was affected, and within one colonic system, if you look at the connection between the groin and the gut, it's down really low, about 3-4 inches in. And so I was able in one session to clear whatever was there, and the pain went away. And I went to the court. There's a little residual, but in 15-20 minutes I was running like I ran 3 games that day. So that means I ran probably anywhere from 10 to 15 miles. So a couple days earlier I wasn't able to do that. So it's amazing the connection between the gut and the rest of the body. So if you are treating symptoms, if you're treating these things with drugs and chemicals and even herbs and homeopathics, and you're not looking at the gut and you're not addressing the constipation problem and the putrefaction that is in your internal being, then you're never going to clear this. You're just going to chase another symptom later. You're going to go from one symptom to another symptom, like I did. And I spent well over $100,000 chasing symptoms. So I've spent a lot of money, and I went all over the world, guys. I mean, when I got into selling nutritional supplements, I was able to travel and meet a lot of people from varied backgrounds. And you know who I learned the most from? The people had no initials after the name. They weren't the MDs, they weren't the PhDs. These were people that were lay people that learned the basics of healing. They learned the iridology. They learned about herbs and nutrients. And it was one of them, no initials behind their name, that said, "How often do you poop?" And I said, "Well, sometimes once every 3 days." And they laugh. He says, "What?" And I'm going like, "Well, what's wrong with that, right?" I'm thinking I'm being efficient. Not wasting time on the toilet, I gotta go. So, first thing I did is I started doing colonics, and whoa, big change. I mean, bam, big change. So then it was, okay, now how do we get the gut? And this is back before probiotics were a word, really. I mean, it was a word that was there, but no one was talking about probiotics in these days. But I knew I had to get, I'd read a little bit. This is pre-internet, pre-Google, pre-all that stuff. And I had to go figure it out. And it was a painful process, but I made it through, obviously, because I'm here. And I was not on a course to being here. So 2 key questions that you should be telling your doctor, or your doctor should be asking. If your doctor doesn't ask these questions, if it's not on the intake form, get up and walk out the flipping door. My wife was in the hospital. I remember, right away. I mean, I'm looking in the refrigerator of what all the healthcare workers or helpers are eating, right? They've got aspartame-laden yogurt. They got diet Pepsis, diet sodas. The people themselves in the trauma unit, most of them, not all, but most of them were on some kind of pain medication, and had been some of them for years on Norco and Tramadol. I was blown away. Of course, what do they bring her to eat? Freaking Jello. The food was not organic. So, okay, in the foods, you've got all these disruptors of your system because there's pesticides on all these foods. If you're not taking and investing your good dollars in real food, that's organic food, non-genetically modified organic food, you are going to end up with some kind of symptom later. You're going to have some kind of an illness. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually it's going to affect you. And it's already affecting your brain, you just don't know it yet. And so you've got to get rid of that type of food, and you've got to look at what you're cooking your foods in, what kind of pans and plates you're using, because all this stuff leaches. I know some people are walking around where they got their water bottle, it's in an aluminum container. Throw that away. You know what I use, guys? Right here. I drink out of glass. I got some referees looking at me, what? Why don't you get plastic? Even if it's non-BPA, I drink out of glass. I can tell the difference. So, and that's a simple thing to do. This cost me, I bought the juice bottle, drank the juice, kept the glass. Zippo, right? So these are just little tips and things that you've got to be looking at. And if they're not asking, I'm telling you, get up and walk out of the room, because they don't know. And they don't know. I mean, if they don't know what they should be eating, and the reality is, the doctors, unfortunately, they'll tell you they don't get the nutrition training. They get taught how to prescribe drugs, which, drugs in their proper place are fine. For a temporary fix, you're in an accident like my wife was, she needed the Oxycontin, she needed the Tramadol, she needed it right then. Those are great, temporarily. But when she got out of the hospital after 24 days on these drugs, they started flipping her out, and we had to go off all of that pain medication. We had to figure out alternative nutrients to reduce inflammation. And my wife was an amazing miracle. I mean, she fell, broke 8 bones, her ankle bones shot completely out of her body, and crushed her tibia by 2 inches, shattered her femur. She's got all the metal out now, and it's been 4 years later. She's walking. They told us that she'd have to fuse her feet. Didn't do that. Broke both ankles, 3 vertebrae in her back. Anyway, she went off all pain meds. We found some alternative ways to stop the pain. But the thing we had to address right away in the hospital was the food. And of course, what happens when you're on pain meds, guys? You're constipated. And we're thinking, where is the colonic bed? Where is the colonic bed? Why isn't it in a hospital? Ridiculous, right? So I took to the hospital, I took my own refrigerator, and I brought her organic food every day. I brought her organic juice. So we went a real heavy juice diet for her, and so that she can get the nutrition she needs to restore the cells to energy, because you can't eat crap food and expect to restore your cells. You just can't. There's no way. Your cells are the key to life. You've got to get the nutrition in there, take out the bad parts, put in the good parts. This is part of the 4 laws of healing, which I've spoken about many times on these live feeds. Anyway, beautiful morning. If you guys love it, show me some likes. Definitely share these nuggets with your buddies on your own feed, because someone out there is in pain, someone and they need this basic information. This information is so simple and it's so inexpensive to heal yourself. If you just know some of the basics, like my dad says, you know what? There's only a few tools you need. If you really need to fix something, you only need a few tools. And that's really that way about the body. You only need a few tools. And one of the ways is getting this gut healed. And to get the gut healed, you've got to do colon hydrotherapy. And then when you go to your naturopath, then when you go to your homeopath, all those things that they're going to give you, all those nutrients, the homeopathic remedies, those things are going to get effectually into the gut, into the bloodstream really fast. Because if you've got lots of mucus and junk sitting in your trunk, in your gut, it's preventing the nutrients to getting to the site of action, the cells. So you're wasting money. So you got to start with colon hydrotherapy first. And I am so fortunate that non-medical person gave me a clue so many years ago. And I had a lot of mentors. I'll be on another live feed someday of all the people I met in my path. Quite a story. When my book's finally published, you'll get to read about it. So this is stuff you just can't make up. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, David DeHaas here, Living Waters, livingwaterscleanse.com. I'm in Boise, Idaho. You guys have a blessed day. I'm going up to do a little healing on my daughter. She was in a severe car accident. Got a concussion, so I'm going to go give her a little love, a little energy, and help get her back on track. So anyway, have a blessed day. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters, livingwaterscleanse.com. I'll see you on the next live feed.